Upshaw's a professional football player. He's tough, he's physical, he's Wade Phillips kind of guy. Mercilus has the speed, but doesn't have the body of work.
But Upshaw's fallen this far for a reason.
Yeah, it's because he's not a 4-3 defensive end, and he lacks a little bit of athleticism. But let me ask you this. If you were to draft, you hear people going crazy as the Texans draft.
I was wondering if we get the fans to give us a consensus, but I think they're locked up with their cheer.
Greg, if you were to draft Courtney Upshaw and play him on the strong side, or would you play him on the strong side and just let Connor Barwin cut it loose from the weak side?
Oh, yeah. I want Connor on the weak side.
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll
he's
see.
going to be your most athletic guy out there, and I just love the intensity he plays with. Connor Barwin might be one of my favorite Texans right now.
Well, so I get a name in as well as they roll through a lot of players. I'll give you Mercilus. I think Whitney Mercilus will be the player. I'm with Lance, though. With what's on the board, I would find a partner, and I would move back here. I'd get an additional player and still get one of a number of players there's no reason they shouldn't think would make a big impact on this team, if not very soon, by the start of next season. So I'd actually trade back, but if they make a selection here, I'd say it's Whitney Mercilus.
Whitney Mercilus, and I don't think the Packers are trading now because I think they like Jarrell Worthy, and they don't have to trade to get him. But, you know,
we have talked none about offense. Is Hill, Georgia Tech, or Fleener, Stanford a real consideration here?
Yeah, I think so.
I've already said I'm going to empty my clip of my 9mm in my head if they take Corby Fleener.
Oh.
So I'm
Kobe
going
Fleener?
postal. You're the first guy too, Wexler. I'm going postal if they
Please
take
don't take Jacoby Fleener then. I can't have that.
The pick
I
is
can't
hit
have
for the
Greg
Texans,
Cook's blood
too.
on my head, literally. They took about 8 minutes to get the pick in. The full 10 minutes didn't go out. And remember, you can hear it at Christian's Tailgate in the Heights. So we will have fan reaction when the announcement is made. And true to form, the NFL has done it again.
Oh, commercial!
When the Texans are on the clock in any round, at any time, in any year, it's time to go to commercial. Everybody knows it. The league knows it. It's happened for years, and it's going to happen again tonight.
Who did we just have drafted?
Dante Hightower, 25, New England.
I think we've got, do we have audio of Dante Hightower? Because he's one of those guys that
our guy Tony Pauline weighed in on Dante Hightower.
Yeah, you want to listen to what Tony P had to say?
Tony Pauline, who you can read in the draft report.
And you're positive we don't go field goal kicker here, right?
I mean, what a shocker.
Yeah,
This place,
mom on that one?
all the 9mm will be emptied out in here.
Let's quickly get a thought from Tony Pauline on Dante Hightower.
From a physical point of view, Hightower has the makings of a top 10 pick. He's big, he's fast, he's physical, and he forces the action. But the fact of the matter is he's a bit limited and one-dimensional. He's primarily a downhill run stuffer that struggles making plays outside the box or dropping in the pass coverage. As a result, this will push Hightower into the second half of round one.
Well, Greg Cook did an informal poll out here, and let me tell you, answer me if I heard correctly, a little Hill, a little Mercilus, little Randall, a name we haven't mentioned. Now, you were in on Ruben Randall maybe 3-4 weeks ago, Lance, at 26 of the Texans, and kind of leaned away from that as the days drew closer. Still feel that way?
Yeah, people around the league just said, borderline first, early second, and if that's the case, and especially once the Texans started to get cool on the idea of a wide receiver, and that's what John McClain is leading us to believe, and he's the beat writer, and I have respect for that.
The thing with Randall and Hill is that as great athletes as they are, they're kind of unproven as a wide receiver because they both come out of run-oriented offenses.
Yeah, and you know, Greg, I don't have a problem with that, though, and I'll tell you why. You're not going to start them right now over Kevin Walter. You're going to play them as the third wide receiver. You'd probably cut Jacoby Jones during camp sometimes, save that money. You work them in slowly. I'm okay with guys that need to develop right now for the Texans, especially if they have unbelievable upsides like I think Randall has and I think Stephen Hill has. I would be.
I've had them all.
Mercilus is a good fit for him. That's what is going to be interesting to me. Nick Perry, to me,
the 26th pick in the 2012 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Whitney Mercilus, linebacker, Illinois.
Mercilus. Here, I'll let the crowd find out right here. We'll let them hear. Listen to the crowd. They don't know yet. They don't know it's a kicker. Whitney Mercilus, defensive end for the Houston Texans. And you know what? It's not bad. I'm not sad by it.
I like it. I really didn't think he'd be there.
Upside, speed. We'll watch the highlights here. Greg, one of the things, he has a tremendous motor. He can change directions. He can stand up, and he played a lot of standing up out of the two-point stance at Illinois. You can move him around on the defensive line. Whitney Mercilus is a guy that is extremely scheme flexible, and right now you have two guys that I think will start, in Connor Barwin and Whitney Mercilus, and you bump Brooks Reed back to that third pass rush specialist and just rotation guys.
See, that's my only question about Whitney Mercilus is how strong is he at the point of attack. I think that's his only weakness. You can run right at him, but when he's away, he's a guy that's a force. He's only had